there's this belief in our culture and society around being bad or not being liked or not being accepted. And I think we have this huge fear of not being accepted or liked, so much so that we force ourselves in relationships, friendships, coworkers, whatever, with people that maybe don't even really like. They don't even bring out the best in us. They don't even want the best for us. They aren't even people that we would choose if we could choose, if we had the self-worth to choose. But we're staying with them because we feel like we have to, because we're a bad person if we don't. And in my relationship as well, or in relationships that I've been in, even not even just this one, I've had to really reckon with that part of me that really, really desires to be seen as good and seen as nice and seen as lovable and seen as well liked by everyone. The people pleaser. The people pleaser really, really doesn't care about compatibility, because the people pleaser is the hungry ghost part of me that's like, we could be incompatible or not. I still need you to like me. I still need you to love me, because in doing that, that's what makes me lovable, is that other people accept and like me. So what do I have to do? How do I have to change myself? Who do I have to be to make this work? Because I need you to like me for me to like myself. Codependency as well. And so this was happening for me for so long, where I was probably over a year and a half turning myself inside out to figure out what was wrong with me, figure out what I could look at, what I could heal, what I could understand, what I could shift, what I could transform. And that was incredibly powerful, because I saw parts of myself and I saw parts of who I am that I would have never seen without it. But in the end, I will never forget. We had just had this really hard fighting experience. And the last months I committed to being in my heart. I was like, and it's making me emotional thinking about it, but yeah, I had committed to being in my heart. I was like, if I make one commitment, I will stay open-hearted in the end of this. And I remember sitting on the side of my bed and we were just kind of going at it. And I remember hearing my higher self be like, you know, for the right person, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be yourself. For the right person, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be yourself. And I remember that experience of feeling like, wow, there is this part of me that is desiring this experience where even in my imperfection, even in my mess, even in my try, even in my fail, even in my emptiness, even in my fullness, even every bit of my expression and desire, that I will be met with someone that can be there and hold all of it. And because we were in a situation where we were incompatible and we were trading our authenticity because we were desiring to have this relationship, we both weren't being true to ourselves, and we both were trying to be perfect, because by being perfect, we perceived to have a better chance to save the relationship. Because if you're perfect, you're not going to fight. You're going to say the right things. You're going to be able to avoid conflict. You're going to be able to make them love you. You'll get their approval. You'll be all these things. And in relationship, it's not about being perfect. It's really not about being perfect. I pray that you have relationships in your life where you feel like you don't have to be perfect. And I think that's what I'm really cultivating in my female friendships right now is breaking down the barriers and the walls that perfectionism puts around us, because we have this really deep desire to feel like with perfection comes love. Social media feeds into this incredibly well. We're feeding that persona, as Carl Jung says, the mask so much. And that mask oftentimes is us being perfect, us presenting a perfect life. And I'm not saying that I don't do that either. I'm also exploring in my life how I can break that barrier in the social media space to not feel like I'm presenting a perfect sense of self. But when we are feeling like we have to be perfect, or we have to put on, or we have to say the right thing and do the right thing, we're actually not leaving space for love, because love is when you are loving someone as if they already were perfect, even when they're not being perfect. And it's really that control and desire that if you act a certain way, then I will love you. If you say this thing, then I will love you. And that was one of the huge, huge lessons and learnings of my process within this, and something that felt incredibly transformative for me and actually inaccessible for me in a lot of ways. I never thought it would be possible to transform love in the way that we have. We were together for 10 years. We've now been loving and friends and kind, and We make fun of ourselves. Like, we laugh all the time. He got a new car and I was like, is this your bachelor mobile? We'll just like fuck around with each other all the time about like, well, now that I'm a divorcee, and we'll just like joke. Joy and play was a core component of our relationship. So it was easy for us to bring that through. But being able to transform love, I never thought would be possible. I had been in relationships and breakups that had pretty much been like blow-ups where something big had happened, or I had waited till we had to break up, or I cheated or they cheated or whatever the heck was. So to know that I had the possibility and capability of transforming love from romantic to friend with someone and not having love go anywhere, but love be transformed, I never thought was possible.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Morning Microdose by Almost 30.
We hope you enjoyed waking up.
As always, we encourage you to take what resonates and leave the rest. If you enjoyed this trip, tune into the full episode on the Almost 30 podcast. All episode information can be found in the show notes.
Make sure to subscribe, and if this becomes a part of your morning routine, be sure to share it with a friend. We have new inspiring doses Monday through Friday. Follow us on Instagram at Morning Microdose, and follow Almost 30 at Almost 30 Podcast.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the vortex.